Welcome to our podcast, where we cover unique and interesting stories for you. In this episode, we will discuss why continents have been mysteriously rising for years. Every now and then, certain stable parts of the continents on Earth begin to rise and develop into some stunning topographic features. The reason why this happens has now been revealed. Scientists at the University of Southampton studied plate tectonics to find out how did this happen. They say that tectonic plates often break apart, and this triggers powerful waves deep within the Earth. This event causes continental surfaces to rise, sometimes by over a kilometer. Scientists have been trying to understand for years how these topographical features known as escarpments and plateaus come into existence. The findings published in the journal Nature are a result of studying the impact of global tectonic forces on landscape evolution over hundreds of millions of years. Scientists have long suspected that steep kilometer-high topographic features called great escarpments, like the classic example encircling South Africa, are formed when continents rift and eventually split apart. Tom Gernon, professor of earth science at the University of Southampton and lead author of the study, said, "The researchers from the University of Southampton, Dr. Thea Hinks, Dr. Derek Keir, and Alice Cunningham, collaborated with colleagues from the Helmholtz Center Potsdam GFZ, German Research Center for Geosciences, and the University of Birmingham. They tried to understand why stable parts of continents sometimes move vertically. They discovered that continental crust stretches when continents split apart, and this stretching causes stirring movements in Earth's mantle. Professor Sascha Brun, who leads the geodynamic modeling section at GFZ Potsdam, said, "This process can be compared to a sweeping motion that moves towards the continents and disturbs their deep foundations." Professor Brun and Dr. Anne Glarum then ran simulations and noted that the speed of the mantle waves moving under the continents was extremely close to the speed of major erosion events that happened in the landscape in southern Africa following the breakup of the ancient supercontinent Gondwana. They added that the great escarpments originate at the edges of ancient rift valleys. This led them to conclude that a rifting event also sets in motion a deep mantle wave. This wave travels along the continent's base at about 15 to 20 kilometers per million years. Much like how a hot air balloon sheds weight to rise higher, this loss of continental material causes the continents to rise, a process called isostasy, said Professor Brun. That's all from this podcast. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Stay connected for more exciting discussions and updates in our next podcast.